Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back for another stream. We're back for the team selection video for Game Week 13. Sorry for the bit of a delayed stream. Obviously, it was meant to be 7 o'clock, but we've gone live at 8 o'clock instead. But yeah, sorry for that. But yeah, back to obviously team selection. How you doing, Jordan? How's your week going? And how you been?
Yeah, the week's going great. In terms of fantasy, there is definitely a lot to talk about. Not really anything good. I think more of the bad after the international break is the fallout is now obviously approaching, and there is going to be a lot of questions and decisions to make, I think, in our team selections.
Yeah, let's kick it off quickly, recapping Game Week 12 because that was the last game week, and we always recap. So let's start off with my team. In goal, we do have Areola. Again, he did concede, or I believe it was 2 goals, wasn't it, to Nottingham Forest. West Ham did win 3-2 in the end, and yeah, good win for West Ham. Unfortunately, Areola did concede twice as well in that game. Moving on to the back three, not really much to shout about. Obviously, Arsenal conceded to Burnley, which was disappointing. Matty Cash conceded to Fulham in the 3-1 win. And as you guys know, my transfer in for that week, Livramento didn't start the game, came on last 45 minutes and got a -1 for the goals conceded. So he ends up on 0. Into midfield, I should say, he gets a lot better. Diaby comes away with that assist, I think, against Fulham in that game, which was nice. Palmer, again, carries on his little streak. He got the goal, didn't he? The penalty in the big win. Oh, no, it wasn't a win, was it? It was a draw at the end. The massive draw, the massive result Chelsea had at home to Man City. It feels like forever now, that 4-4 draw, Chelsea-Man City. It was only a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, what a game. And yeah, Palmer did end up getting a penalty to equalise and get Chelsea a point. Saka got an assist, I believe, against Burnley. Son blanked in that loss to Wolves. And then Salah, my captain, did go and get 2 goals, the 3 bonus points and a clean sheet point to come away with the lovely 32-pointer as my captain. And finally, up front, Watkins, who did get back on the score sheet against Fulham, and Haaland, who matched Salah with his 2 goals and 1 assist against Chelsea. So all in all, it was 79 points for my team. But just going onto the bench, as you guys can see, the annoying part of my game week 13 was that I benched Tsimikas for his 15-pointer against Brentford, which was very annoying because I would have won, I've been on the high 90s if I did play Tsimikas. Obviously, we know what Tsimikas did, got 2 assists, got a clean sheet, got the 3 bonus points as well. So yeah, big score from Tsimikas, but yeah, he was on my bench. So 79 points for me in Game Week 12, and that was a pretty decent green arrow of about 400k up to 1.3 million now. So we are climbing up the ranks again, which is nice and positive going into Game Week 13. So yeah, 79 points for Game Week 12. Let's move on to your team, Jordan. Talk us through and recap your Game Week 12 and how it went as well for you.
Okay, so start off my Game Week 12 recap. We have Areola, who didn't get his clean sheet. Obviously, West Ham won 3-2, but no clean sheet for Areola, and he ends up on 2 points. Moving on to the defence, with a lot of fortune from Tsimikas, who gets his double haul of 15 points. Obviously, the 2 assists, and the clean sheet, and the bonus 3 in that 3-0 win over Liverpool. So it was a massive, big return obviously in defence. Not much to talk about for the rest of the defence. Luka Dean, no clean sheet for him, and neither one for Trippier, who gets no clean sheet either. So only Tsimikas is the only return in my defence. So we'll move on to the midfield. Mitoma, only the 1 point. He literally came on for 45 minutes in the second half, but no returns, so it just leaves him with 1 point for the minutes he plays. Similar with Son, no returns, only the minutes he played, so only 2 points for him. Bowen had a bit of fortune of scoring one of the goals in that 3-2 win and got a bonus 1 point on top of that, which leaves him on 8 points, which is nice. Saka, we've spoken about him with his assist, not great, but not terrible at the same time, but nonetheless, it's a return. Moving on to the front 3, we've got Alvarez, who got an assist in that massive 4-4 draw against Chelsea. And Watkins, he got his goal against Fulham in that 3-1 win over them with a -1, negative point for a yellow card, but 6 points to finish off. And finally, Haaland, who gets his big return of scoring 2 goals and getting a lovely assist and -3 on top of that, which leaves him with the captaincy over him on 32 points. So he was my best captain pick for that game week. Not much to talk about on the bench, no returns whatsoever there. So happy to see. We like to see a bench with no returns, and overall 79 points for game week 12. So it wasn't a bad game week, and it was a green arrow for me. 69k. I think I originally was on around 83k. So yeah, it was a nice jump in the goal to reach top 10k yet again. But yeah, it was a hard grind to get there. But overall, game week 12 was very nice to finish on before obviously international break.
Yeah, nice one. 79 points as well. So we both literally got the same score, which was good. Green arrows for both of us. But yeah, we're going to move on now to game week 13 and talk about how our teams are lining up, our bus teams. And if you guys are watching, if you guys are just tuning in, make sure you do smash the like button and make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel as well. It always, all your support and likes really help the channel grow. So let's start off with my team. This is currently what my team looks like heading into that game week 13. So in goal, I've got Areola, who's got Burnley away. Can I see a clean sheet? Possibly. So I'm happy to play Areola in this game. I'm hoping he gets a clean sheet. If not, a couple of save points will do. Moving along into that back three, and I've got Gabriel, who's got Brentford away. I don't think this is a clean sheet, really. I don't know what you think of Arsenal's chances of a clean sheet against Brentford.
No, I think it's gonna be tough for Brentford being at home as well. I could see someone scoring up in Wemo or maybe Wissa. I don't see a clean sheet for Arsenal in that game particularly, but there has been stranger things.
Yeah, we'll come on to my transfers in a bit. So I wasn't 100% on it because I don't know if Arsenal will keep a clean sheet, but their defense going forward longer term looks decent. So Gabriel's got Brentford, Matty Cash, who's got Spurs away. Now Matty Cash is currently flagged with a little injury. However, upon doing of research, it seems like Matty Cash isn't too serious and he actually could be fit for that game against Spurs. However, that may not be a good enough reason for you guys to keep him in the team because obviously the fixtures do turn for Aston Villa. So Matty Cash definitely on the chopping block. Now, I've got Livramento, who's got Chelsea at home. I do have a bit of a dilemma. Do I play Livramento or do I play someone like Tsimikas, who's got Man City? Yes, Tsimikas came off a 15-pointer, but he's not going to get 2 assists every week. Tsimikas also has a tough fixture against Man City away. So I don't really see a clean sheet for Liverpool, but I don't really see a clean sheet for Newcastle either, if I'm being honest, for Livramento. I think Chelsea will score. So for me, I could actually be tempted to play Tsimikas. I'm not sure yet, but I've gone Livramento on the screen, but I think I am leaning towards Tsimikas actually, and then just benching Livramento. I think Livramento was just a terrible transfer for me, and I kind of regret bringing him into my team.
I don't see a lot of clean sheets, to be honest, in game week 13 for a lot of defenders because they either clash with each other with other players in the team or they have a really bad fixture. But saying that, Chelsea did score 4 against Man City, so Liverpool have looked better than Chelsea this season. So maybe there is something for Tsimikas.
Yeah, I would probably play Tsimikas ahead of Livramento, but it's one of those ones where I don't really expect Liverpool to keep a clean sheet. Moving along into that midfield 5, you've got Diaby, who's got Spurs. We know Spurs struggling with the injuries and suspension, so I'm kind of happy to hold Diaby for one more week. This is Diaby's last, his last chance in my team, really. I know he did get an assist last week, but after this week, I'm pretty 100%. I will be selling Diaby, so hopefully he can get me something against Spurs before I transfer him out next weekend. Palmer's in there. As you guys know, Palmer's done pretty well for me since bringing him in. He's got Newcastle away. Just happy to play him in that fixture. Saka's got Brentford. Again, I'm going to hold Saka longer term. If fixtures coming up, it's nice, so happy to own. Son, on the other hand, has got Aston Villa at home. I think it's a decent fixture, so happy to play him again. We know Spurs are a bit, in the last 2 games, 2 losses. So they need to bounce back. I think it is a home fixture, so I do expect Spurs to, kind of avenge their last 2 losses because, but I think it's going to be a tough game because obviously those injuries are affecting Spurs, and we'll have to see what Son does. But I'm not ready to let Son go yet. I think I'm going to give him another week, see how he does against Villa. If he doesn't look good against Villa, maybe the week after game week 14, I could potentially be looking to remove him. And finally, to complete the midfield, it is Mo Salah. He's got Man City away again, tough fixture. It is a 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday, so yeah, another early kickoff for Liverpool. But I don't think Salah's a bad pick necessarily for this game. I think he's actually got a decent record against Man City. Yes, it is away at the Etihad, so not as confident going into it. But Salah, I'm happy to own him again for this week. And then up front, I've got Watkins, who's got Spurs away. I think it's a decent fixture for Watkins. With Van der Ven injured, Romero, I believe, still out. Watkins will fancy his chances against Eric Dyer and co. So yeah, happy to own Watkins for this game, and we'll see how he does. And finally, to complete the team, I've got Haaland up top, who's got Liverpool at home. Again, we know Haaland, is going to be, or I don't know what you think, but I think captaincy-wise, I am leaning towards Haaland over Salah, if I'm being honest, purely because it is the home fixture for Man City. So playing at the Etihad, I'll just back Man City slightly, even though obviously I'm a Liverpool fan and I hope Man City lose. But yeah, I think I'm going to go Captain Haaland just because of that home fixture. And I think he might get a goal regardless in that game anyway. But yeah, that is what my team currently looks like. On the bench, I've got Strakoshka, Archer, Tsimikas, and Taylor. As I mentioned earlier, I'll probably play Tsimikas as well instead of Livramento, just because I think I'll back Liverpool's attack to get something against Man City, even though it's a tough game. As you guys can see from my bank, I've got 1 million in the bank as well as 1 free transfer. And currently, the moves I'm planning, because as you guys can see, there is a flag on my team, Matty Cash, but he should be fine. However, I think I'm going to remove Matty Cash anyway. So the plan is Matty Cash out of my team. And the player I'm looking to replace Matty Cash with is actually William Saliba of Arsenal, obviously. So that is what I'm currently thinking now. Yes, I actually don't believe Arsenal will keep a clean sheet against Brentford. I think it's a tough one. But going forward, mid-term, I actually like Arsenal's fixtures. And in game week 14, 15, etc., the fixtures turn a lot nicer. And I'll be quite happy to own double Arsenal defense when the fixtures turn good. So it is a longer-term move. And I'm not... we spoke about defenders in prior weeks, and I'm not a fan of a lot of the defenders. There's not really a defender that stands out to me that you need to have. So I'm quite happy to just back our double Arsenal defense because, yes, it's Brentford this week, but just taking a look at Arsenal's fixtures, after Brentford away in game week 13, it is Wolves in game week 14, Luton in game week 15, which is decent. Game week 16 is Villa. Game week 17 is Brighton. Game week 19 and 20 as well, some decent fixtures. So yeah, I'm happy to hold double Arsenal defense because I'm not too keen on their attack in terms of a double up. So the plans currently, Matty Cash out to Saliba. That will leave me with 0.6 million in the bank as well, which allows me to do like Diaby to Mbeumo in game week 14 next week, which is my current plans. Just for those that aren't aware, my actual plan before the injury was to bring Bowen in. So what I was looking at was taking out Diaby this week and bringing in Jared Bowen. However, Jared Bowen has actually gone and got injured. So that's kind of ruined my plans because I was looking at Bowen as a move. But, Saliba for now, I think is fine. And that's probably where I'll be going with my team. But yeah, Jordan, what's your plans then? If we move on to your team, talk us through how you're lining up for game week 13 and also your transfer plans. Because I see a few flags. It's going to be interesting to see what you actually do. Because you only got 1 free transfer and Mitoma and Bowen is an issue, I guess.
Yeah, the flags do look a bit scary, but there is fortunately some good news. But obviously we'll get to that. But we'll start off with the goalkeeper. I've also gone with Areola for my team. He's got Burnley away. I could opt to go for Leno, who has Wolves at home, but I think the Burnley fixture that Areola has looks more appealing. I think there's a clean sheet for Areola there. and I can see potentially then they're conceding. So I'm going to play Areola in the hopes that he can get a clean sheet for this week, because the fixtures that other players have in my team aren't the greatest. I think literally West Ham potentially have one of the best fixtures in my team. But moving on to the defence, so I'm playing Tsimikas, who has Man City away. Massive performance that he brought, obviously, in that 3-0 win last game week with a massive 15-pointer. I don't really see that replicating happening again, but I have no real choice because I've got Taylor of West Ham. Taylor's got West Ham at home, which I'm not really keen on, and Brentford has Man United at home. Considering how Man United have played this season, I'm still not positive about them Everton keeping a clean sheet against them, even though it's a home fixture. So I am opting to go for the most difficult fixture, and that's Tsimikas, who has Man City away, in the hopes that maybe as an attack and return for Tachi Tsimikas. He did get 2 assists last game, but this is going to be a bigger challenge, especially away at the Etihad. So regardless, I am actually forced to play Tsimikas in the hopes that he can get an attack and return, because I don't see a clean sheet in that game. Moving on to the next player, that is Trippier, and yeah, he's not the most popular pick for Game Week 13, considering the massive performance Chelsea pulled off against Man City. But Trippier does have Chelsea at home. Arguably, Newcastle do play well at home. They have a good home record, and as well as Trippier as well. Whether I see a clean sheet, possibly not. Not when I've convinced myself of seeing Chelsea play the way they did against Man City. That sort of does make me question whether Chelsea can repeat that performance against Newcastle. But it's going to be tough for Chelsea playing away at Newcastle Stadium. So I am hopeful for Trippier to deliver out of all my defenders that I have in my team. So yeah, I'm hoping for a big haul from Trippier if that is to be against Chelsea at home. Moving on to the last defender, and that is Luca Dean, who has Tottenham away. Again, I'm not seeing a clean sheet in this either. I do see Spurs scoring, and the fact that Aston Villa haven't kept a clean sheet since, I think, Game Week 6 when they played Chelsea, that was the last clean sheet, I think, for Luca Dean in particular. So, yeah, the hopes for a clean sheet for Aston Villa ain't high at all. I do expect, obviously, Spurs to score, so I'm not really expecting much for Luca Dean. I could see a blank coming through me automatically, but again, there's no defender on my bench that I can see a clean sheet worthy either. So I'll just play Luca Dean in the hopes that Aston Villa can pull off a massive performance against Tottenham away. But moving on to the midfield, and this is where it gets interesting, because there has been an update and it has been posted. Mitoma has been seen.
In training, I think.
Or yeah,
he was seen.
Yeah, he was seen. He was actually spotted.
Running, I think.
If you check Brighton's social media, you'll see him. Like earlier today, he was spotted running, and also Lewis Dunk also. So that is a good sign to actually see Mitoma like in action, and obviously potentially training with the squad. But yeah, I'm not as worried about Mitoma as I first was after seeing that. So he has got Nottingham Forest away, and despite the 50% chance of playing, that does give me slight hope if he does get minutes in that game or even start, which is even better. But I do have Andreas on the bench, who has Wolves at home, which isn't a bad fixture for him if Mitoma doesn't play at all. But I am hoping that he does at least get some minutes and hopefully gets a return. But moving on to the next player, that is Son, who has Aston Villa at home. Now, initially, when I was talking in the knee-jerk in Game Week 12, Son was talked about as being on the chopping blocks, but just considering how my team looks at the moment, he's not going to be on my chopping block, I think, for this week. I think I'm going to save him for the Aston Villa game because, like I said, I do expect Spurs to score against Aston Villa, especially a home fixture, and I think they would want to bounce back despite the injuries and suspensions Spurs have obviously had in the last 2 games. So, yeah, I'm expecting a bounce back and Son to potentially score. It is going to be hard without Maddison being his provider, as he is out until New Year's. So, yeah, I'll have to see what Son does this week. But I think regardless of what Son does in Game Week 13, I think his plans will be to take him out in the following game week, but we'll see how he does in Aston Villa at home. And the next player who's also a flag in my team is Bowen, who has a nice fixture against Burnley away. Now, this one does slightly worry me because obviously Bowen, he wasn't in the international squad. He did get withdrawn from that with an injury. I'm trying to think what injury was that he sustained because there's been so many flags and injuries. It's been hard to keep up. But I do believe it was a knee injury. And it was a minor knee injury, to be stated, in training. So I have to probably take a chance with Bowen. I think I don't necessarily want to take him out, even if he doesn't start. Because I do have Andreas as cover to come on for Bowen if he doesn't appear in the West Ham squad. So, yeah, I think I'm going to risk it and play Bowen regardless of what happens. But hopefully he does make the West Ham game. We're moving on to the last midfield, and that is Saka, who has Brentford away. Now, I'm not really been impressed with Saka in the past few games, but I guess this is one of these games where it could be some redemption. It is going to be hard, though, Brentford. I do see Arsenal winning the game, but I don't know whether Saka is going to score or not. That's the worry for me because he's been getting assists quite a lot so far, and it's not been very appealing of how involved he is in games recently. So I have to see with Saka as well. But I will play him for the Brentford away fixture and see how he does in that game. But moving on to the front three, we've got Watkins, who has Tottenham away. Yes, another clash, obviously, with Son. So it's Son versus Watkins. It should be a great game. And I'm hoping it's a high-scoring one as well. But yeah, I mean, Watkins, he's not been a bad asset to own so far this season. He's had a good record, and I'll happily play him against Tottenham away. I think that's a good fixture for Aston Villa because they have looked pretty good this season and potentially in the top 5 contenders so far. So, but yeah, we have to see how obviously that match goes. And moved on to the Man City assets, and that is Haaland and obviously his partner Julian Alvarez, who both have Liverpool at home. Massive big game. Kind of shame it's an early kickoff at 12:30 because I would have liked it to be an evening one. But regardless of that, it should be a nice game for Haaland and Alvarez. I'm hoping as well Alvarez can get a goal in this game, and obviously Haaland as well because I have picked him as my captain pick for Game Week 13. It does seem like it's the right choice to go for. It's hard to not captain Haaland after him scoring 2 goals and getting an assist from last game week, and the fact that it's a home fixture at the Etihad and it's against Liverpool at home. I think it's a big game for obviously Haaland, and it should be one where he could potentially score a goal in. And pretty much the same for Alvarez. Hopefully he gets a goal in that game or maybe a return, hopefully before he gets taken off. But I think as well Alvarez could be seen on the chopping blocks as there is going to be a lot of fixtures after Game Week 13 in a short period of time. So I could potentially see Alvarez being benched and rested in between that busy period. So yeah, that is one also that I'll be looking out for. Just quickly on the bench, we've got Leno, who has Wolves at home, Andreas as well, the same fixture, and Taylor, who has West Ham at home, and Branthwaite, who has Man United at home. And I do have one free transfer and 1.6 million in the bank. And yeah, you're probably wondering what my transfer plans are going to be. And this is probably going to surprise pretty much all of you, but I'm going to roll my transfer. So I'm going to keep obviously my one transfer. I'm not going to use it on any player. I'm playing a pretty risky game considering Matoma and Bone are a 50-50 and whether they will start or get introduced in the game. But yeah, I'm going to roll the transfer into Game Week 14, and the reason being is I do want to bring Salah into my team. I've realised that this week isn't the best time I think to bring Salah in because he is against Haaland. So unless I really captain him, and also it would be a full -4, so I don't think it'd be worth it because I wouldn't captain Salah over Haaland this week. So I'm gonna save it for Game Week 13. I'll do it in Game Week 14 for free. I think that'd be more worthwhile in that sense. So yeah, I'm going to roll the transfer over, guys. So it's going to be a boring, obviously, plans for me. But yeah, that is my team selection plans going forward.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting because obviously Matoma and Bowen, we'll have to see what the situation is with them. I'm not sure if both will start, but maybe we get some team news before Saturday. If we do, your mind might change again. But as of now, if they both fit, you're happy to play them because they've got good fixtures. But that obviously is the worry. Will they both be fit for that game? Which again, I'm still actually not sure. But yeah, interesting. We're going to take a few of your questions, guys. There's a few questions in the chat. If you are just joining in, make sure you do smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed as well to the YouTube channel. It always helps support the growth, and it shows us that you're enjoying the content. We are very close to 1,000 subscribers as well, so please do hit that subscribe button, every single one. Getting us towards that 1,000 mark is the next big one. Harry Davies is in the chat who says, "Yo, I hope you're doing well, Harry." James says, "Hi, Hassan Jordan." Hi, James.
Hello, James.
Rate my transfers this week: Rashford, Ward-Prowse, Estupiñán, Saliba. Oh, okay, hold on. Rashford to Ward-Prowse, Estupiñán to Saliba for a hit, and then Morris to Solanke for a hit. So is that a -8? I'm not sure about that for a -8, if I'm being honest. What do you make of it?
It's not the most. I don't see a clean sheet for Saliba and Solanke.
Solanke's got Sheffield, decent fixture away. Sheffield away for Solanke.
Actually, yeah, I did put him as a buy in the transfer tips video, but yeah, I agree with the Solanke one, makes sense, but I'm not sure with Estupiñán's flagged and probably will not play, so I can see why you want to bring Saliba in. I just don't see a clean sheet for Arsenal. I think I'll do it for another defender, but yeah, you would have to do it because Estupiñán's red flag. So I'll probably go for another defender with a better fixture.
Sam says, "Hi guys, what about, I assume you mean Eze at Palace and Nouri instead of Douglas Luiz, I think that is, and Porro. Just to answer your question, I really like Eze. I think if you look at Eze's fixture this week, it's Luton. So I know he doesn't really get much better than that on paper. Looking at Eze's fixtures actually in the next 3 looks pretty good. Luton away in game week 13, West Ham in game week 14, and then Bournemouth in game week 15. But after that, it gets tough. So for the next 3 fixtures, I do like Eze. My only slight problem with bringing in a Crystal Palace asset is I feel like Crystal Palace as a team don't score many goals. And that is the main issue with Crystal Palace. I don't feel like they score more than 2 goals in a game. A lot of their games are 1-0, 1-1, 2-1 maybe. If they're lucky in a game, they might score 3 at max. But they don't score many goals, and that's why I'm not as keen on a Palace asset. I just don't feel like they're an attacking team. I just feel like they're one of those teams that they'll get one goal or 2 max in a game. So I do like Eze as a differential.
Yeah, I think since the absence of Zaha, their XG has gone down really, really quick. Like it's not as high as it was originally when Zaha was in the team, and we saw Crystal Palace scored 3-4 goals in games, but since his absence, it's literally dropped, and as well as injuries that Crystal Palace sustained as well.
Yeah, to be fair as well, Eze's been injured, which obviously is a big impact, as well as Elise. These are big misses. But either way, I'm not 100% on the Crystal Palace as a team, but I do like Eze if you want to be different. And yeah, in terms of 8 Nouri, next 4 fixtures aren't too bad. Fulham, Arsenal, Burnley, Forest. Again, with Wolves, they don't keep many clean sheets, I don't think either. So I don't think they've kept a single clean sheet this season either, Wolves. So, and I think 8 Nouri doesn't have any goals or any assists this season either. So I'm not sure I'd be going to 8 Nouri if I'm being honest, but the fixtures aren't too bad. Hossam also says, can't believe Jordan's at 70k overall rank without Salah. Obviously, you've not owned Salah at all this season.
I owned him once, and that's the only time when he blanked. Is the game week I bought him in, which controversially should have been an assist for him and a return. But yeah, I did have Salah one game week, and then I got rid of him.
Yeah, against Spurs, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe
the
so.
Spurs game.
Yeah, regrettably, it was probably the big mistake I did so far this season. Otherwise, I could have been potentially in the top 10k. I think, or Sam.
Tricky Trees, did Bowen to Mbeumo already? Hope I don't get punished. Yeah, hopefully not. I mean, Mbeumo should be fit. Fingers crossed. There's no news surrounding Mbeumo, but yeah, he's got Arsenal, so tough game. But never know. Mbeumo on penalties could deliver. Planning to get Mbeumo instead of Bowen as well next week, says Hossam. Yeah, a lot of people might be looking at Mbeumo next week. Is Chris Wood a solid bench option with Awoni out for a couple of months? Yeah, for those guys that haven't seen the news, obviously we've spoke about Awoni a couple of times. He's actually gone and got a big injury. I'm not sure what the injury is, but I've actually seen on Twitter he's out for a long time. So Chris Wood could be an option. Yeah, why not? He definitely could be an option.
Yeah.
You want to add something?
It was a groin injury. He was in pain, but he will undergo surgery, and yeah, obviously he's out for months because of that.
Chris Wood option? You reckon that's a? Is that would you go there, or would you think nah, not for you?
Blimey, Chris Wood! I completely forgot he was in the Premier League.
Yeah,
yeah, that could be a very interesting option because Isaac and Wilson are both
got
out.
3 goals this season. Surprisingly, you know, Chris Wood, he scored against Sheffield Gameweek 2, and got 2 goals against Luton in Gameweek 9.
I'm actually surprised. I've literally not realised Chris Wood has scored so far this season, or at least acknowledged him on the.
Yeah,
in the
fixtures are decent. Fixtures are decent as well for Forest. You know, you look at the games: Brighton, Everton, Fulham, Wolves next in the next 4, and he's probably going to play.
Yeah.
You know, 90, and he's only 4.9 million, guys. Very cheap.
Yeah, so bargain. He could literally be the next best, maybe forward for bench option, other than Archer as well. But yeah, he could be a nice differential at 0.6% own.
Linus K, if you needed to free up funds, who would you sell out of these? Trippier, Son, Saka, Watkins. I'll let you take your pick first. Who would you sell out of these 4?
It would be for me Son, I think. I was going to do it myself to obviously sell Son and obviously sell Alvarez as well to fund for Salah, because Son does take up a lot of money. I think out of those picks, he is the most expensive player. So it kind of makes sense you would get rid of your highest value player who's not performing that entirely well. And because of Maddison being out till New Year's as well, it is going to affect Son up front, because that he kind of plays as a lone striker now, because Maddison was the feeder and provider for him. So I don't see as many goals coming from Son when obviously Maddison was there. So yeah, I think I'd sell Son out of those picks.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I probably would have said Trippier, but now with potentially the issue Spurs have, I probably might say Son as well, actually, and then keeping Trippier. But yeah, it's a tough one between Trippier and Son for me. I'll definitely be keeping Saka. Watkins is interesting, because I don't think Watkins is a hold like longer term, because Watkins fixtures turn as well. But I do like the fact Watkins has a decent fixture later down the line in Gameweek 18, when obviously other teams are blanking. But yeah, those are just some of your questions. If you've got any more, guys, drop them in the chat below. If you are still watching, hit that like button, please. And also make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any content. Thank you guys for watching, though. We are probably going to wrap it up here. We are back again on Saturday morning for the deadline stream. So make sure you tune in. You know, we've both got transfers to make. I know you probably will roll, but I've got transfers to make. So, that should be a good stream. So yeah, make sure you join us. I think 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning for that deadline stream should be a good one. And yeah, after that, Liverpool against Man City for the kickoff. So it should be a good game. But yeah, that's it from us. Anything else you want to add, Jordan, before we do head out?
Yeah, just thank you guys for watching. We're almost there, guys, to obviously game week 13. So yeah, exciting times for the return of football, and massive big game to return to as well, Liverpool and Man City. Yes, I'm pretty excited for that. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the deadline stream Saturday morning. So tune in for that. But until then, take care, enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you at the weekend.